Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Hikma Path. Let me ask you something. What if one small change in the way you think today could earn you Allah's pleasure, calm your heart, and reshape your entire life? In this video, you're not just going to listen. You're going to learn, reflect, and take away practical reminders rooted in the Quran and Sunnah. We'll walk through 10 powerful headings, each one like a light on the path, guiding your intentions, strengthening your iman, and helping you face real life with patience, gratitude, and tawakul. So, stay with me until the end, because one of these headings might be the reminder Allah has written for you to hear today. Bismillah. Let's begin. Everything in your life can change the moment you correct your intention. In Islam, the heart is the beginning of every action, and what seems small to people can become immense with Allah when it is done sincerely for Him. Even before you move, speak, or decide, let your soul ask, is this for Allah? That question turns a routine into worship and gives meaning to what might otherwise feel empty. A sincere intention does not require perfection, it requires honesty. You may struggle, you may feel weak, you may be learning, but when your aim is Allah's pleasure, your steps carry barakah. The believer is not measured only by the results in the dunya, but by what the heart was seeking when the effort began. Sometimes, the most powerful worship is hidden. The silent patience, the quiet restraint, the choice to do right when nobody is watching. These are actions that people may never praise, but Allah sees them fully. When your intention is pure, even your private battles become a source of reward, and your unseen sacrifices are never lost. Renewing intention is not a one-time act. It is something you return to again and again. The heart changes, distractions come, and the dunya pulls. So the believer keeps checking the compass. Ya Allah, keep my purpose clean. Make this for you. And with that renewal, Allah lifts ordinary moments into something sacred. And when you live with sincere intention, you stop being crushed by people's opinions because you were never working for them in the first place. You begin to feel lighter because your goal is clear, Allah's acceptance. If Allah is pleased, you are successful, whether people notice or not, whether the world applauds or ignores. Trust in Allah is not a slogan, it is a way of living. Tawakul means you tie your camel, you take the means, you do what is halal and within your strength, and then you place the outcome in Allah's hands with a calm heart. The believer moves forward with effort, but rests internally with certainty that Allah's plan is wiser than their view. When something does not happen the way you wanted, Tawakul teaches you not to collapse. It teaches you to say, Qadar Allah wa ma sha'a fa'al. Allah decreed, and He does what He wills. Not as surrender to hopelessness, but as surrender to mercy, to wisdom, to a Lord who sees what you cannot. Tawakul also protects you from anxiety about the future. Your risk is not chasing you to harm you. It is written, measured, and delivered by Allah at the exact time He chooses. What is meant for you will reach you, even if the whole world stands between you and it. And what is not meant for you will never be yours, even if you exhaust yourself running after it. At the same time, true trust never becomes laziness. Islam teaches balance. Make dua and also take action. Ask Allah for ease and also walk the road of discipline. Seek help from Allah and also seek the halal means He placed in the world. Your effort is your worship, and the results are Allah's decree. And in the hardest moments, when doors close, when delays hurt, when your heart feels tired, Tawakul becomes a lantern. It reminds you that Allah is Al-Latif, the most subtle, arranging goodness in ways you may only understand later. Keep doing your part, keep your prayers alive, keep your hope clean, and trust that Allah will never waste the striving of a sincere servant. Salah is not merely a pause in your day. It is a return to your Lord when the world pulls you away. When you stand to pray, you are not just performing movements, you are answering a divine invitation, stepping out of noise and into remembrance. Even if your heart feels scattered, the act of returning itself is a form of worship, because Allah loves the servant who keeps coming back. Sometimes you think you need to feel ready before you pray, but Islam teaches the opposite. Pray so you can become ready. Pray so your heart can soften, so your worries can settle, so your soul can breathe again. The believer may arrive at the prayer tired, distracted, even heavy with sin. Yet, Salah is where cleansing begins, not where it ends. Every prayer is a chance to reset your inner world. The takbir lifts you above the day's chaos, and the sujood places you in the most honored position a human can reach, humble before Allah. In sujood, you are closest to your Lord, and even a quiet plea can become a turning point. Do not underestimate what Allah can change in a heart that bows sincerely. Consistency matters more than perfection. Even if your khushu is not strong today, keep praying. Khushu grows with patience and sincerity. Guard the prayers, and they will guard you. Your time, your character, your choices, and your peace. When Salah becomes the anchor of your day, life feels less like drifting and more like walking with purpose. And when you miss, return quickly, without letting shame become a barrier. Shaitan wants one fall to become a habit, but the believer turns back to Allah again and again. Hold on to prayer like a lifeline, because it is one of the greatest gifts Allah gave to keep the heart alive. The Quran is not only a book to recite, it is a mercy that speaks to the heart in every season of life. Sometimes you read a single ayah and it feels as if Allah is addressing you personally, comforting you, correcting you, strengthening you. When the heart is confused, the Quran brings clarity. When the soul is tired, it brings light. Approach the Quran with humility and expectation. You do not need to read large portions to feel its impact. What matters is consistency and reflection. Even a few verses a day, read with presence, can reshape your thoughts and heal wounds you never knew how to name. The Quran teaches you how to see life, how to respond, and how to return to Allah. When you don't understand a verse, don't walk away, walk closer. Learn its meaning. Listen to tafsir, ask questions, and let the message settle in you slowly. The believer is not ashamed of learning. Seeking knowledge is itself an act beloved to Allah. The Quran becomes sweeter when you begin to understand what Allah is saying to you. Make space for the Quran in your daily routine, like you make space for food and sleep. A heart without Quran becomes dry, even if the dunya is full. But a heart that returns to Allah's words finds barakah in time, peace in difficulty, and guidance when choices feel unclear. The Quran is a companion that never betrays you. And if you feel distant from Allah, begin with the Quran again, softly, patiently, without pressure. Let it rebuild the connection, one verse at a time. Ask Allah to open your chest to His words and to make the Quran the spring of your heart, because when Allah's speech lives in you, you are never truly alone. Dua is not a backup plan. It is the believer's first door. When you raise your hands, you are speaking to the one who hears what you cannot explain to anyone else. Allah knows the language of your heart, even when your tongue struggles, and He is never annoyed by repeated asking. If anything, He loves when His servant turns to Him with need and hope. Make your dua real and honest. You don't need perfect words, long speeches, or poetic phrases, just sincerity. Tell Allah what hurts, what you fear, what you desire, and what you cannot fix on your own. The more truthful your dua is, the more it becomes a bridge between your weakness and Allah's strength. Sometimes you make dua and you don't see an immediate change, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Allah answers in the way that is best. He may give you what you asked for now, delay it to protect you, or replace it with something better for your dunya or your akhirah. A dua is never wasted, because it is heard by the most merciful and written with care. Dua also changes you while you wait. It teaches humility, patience, and reliance on Allah. It softens the heart, keeps hope alive, and turns loneliness into companionship with your Lord. Even when the situation remains, your inner state can transform because you are no longer carrying your burdens alone. So keep asking, especially in the moments that are blessed, in sujood between Adhan and Ikama, in the last third of the night and on Fridays. And do not forget to ask for the greatest gifts, guidance, forgiveness, and steadfastness, because when Allah grants you closeness to Him, every other need becomes lighter. Tests are not proof that Allah has abandoned you. Often they are proof that Allah is refining you. In Islam, hardship can be a means of purification, a way for sins to fall away, and a path to higher ranks. Sometimes Allah takes you through no difficulty, not to break you, but to bring out sincerity that comfort never revealed. When you are tested, it does not mean your efforts are unseen. Allah records every tear, every moment of patience, and every time you restrain yourself from despair. The believer's pain is not meaningless. It is carried with purpose, and it can become reward when met with sabr. Even when you feel alone, you are under Allah's care. A trial also exposes what is truly inside the heart. It teaches you where you were relying on the dunya too much and where you need to return to Allah. In hardship, the believer discovers the power of Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of affairs. That remembrance can steady a shaking heart. At the same time, Islam does not demand you pretend it doesn't hurt. You can feel sadness and still have faith. You can cry and still be strong. Patience is not silence. It is refusing to lose hope in Allah, refusing to believe that mercy has ended, and refusing to let pain push you into sin or despair. And remember, the night is darkest before dawn, and relief is promised to those who endure. Your test has an end, even if you cannot see it yet. Keep returning to Allah with prayer, dua, and good deeds, and trust that He is writing a story more beautiful than your fear, because Allah never wastes the struggle of a believing heart. Repentance in Islam is not a mark of shame. It is a sign of life in the heart. A heart that never returns to Allah is the one in danger, but a heart that keeps turning back again and again is a heart Allah can elevate. No matter how far someone feels, the path back begins with one sincere moment, admitting the wrong and seeking Allah's mercy. Shaitan tries to turn sins into identities, whispering, "This is who you are." But Islam teaches that a believer is not defined by their worst mistake. They are defined by their return to Allah. Allah's door is open as long as you breathe, and His forgiveness is greater than what you have done. If you fall, you do not stay down, because staying down is what Shaitan wants. True tawbah is powerful because it includes the heart and the will. You regret the sin, you leave it, and you ask Allah to help you not return. And if you slip again, you return again, without delaying, without making despair your home. Allah loves the servant who keeps coming back, because every return is humility, and humility is beloved to Him. Repentance also cleans the heaviness inside you. Some sadness is not from life itself, but from distance from Allah. Tawbah lifts that weight, restores light, and renews your relationship with your Lord. Even if you cannot fix everything at once, one sincere repentance can begin a chain of change that transforms your character and your future. So, speak to Allah in the quiet when nobody is watching and say, "Ya Allah, forgive me and guide me." Replace the sin with a good deed, because good deeds wash away bad ones by Allah's permission. And trust that Allah is happier with your repentance than you can imagine, because His mercy is not limited by your past. In Islam, worship is not only in prayer and fasting, it is also in how you treat people when you could have been harsh. Your character is a reflection of your faith, and the Prophet's way was mercy, gentleness, truthfulness, and patience. A believer's manners are not an accessory, they are part of the deen itself. Sometimes the most difficult jihad is not against an enemy outside, but against the anger inside. Holding your tongue when you want to insult, forgiving when you want revenge, and choosing kindness when you feel irritated. These are acts of worship that Allah sees clearly. A soft word can heal what 1,000 arguments cannot. Good character begins at home and in private moments, not only in public. Islam teaches consistency. The believer is trustworthy, keeps promises, avoids backbiting, and carries modesty in speech and behavior. Even a simple smile can be charity, and a small act of care can become a reason for Allah's mercy. When you improve your character, you protect your heart as well. Harshness hardens the soul, but kindness softens it. Mercy toward people invites mercy from Allah, and patience with others becomes patience with life. You may not control everything around you, but you can control the way you respond, and that response can be a form of worship. So make a quiet intention to polish your character for Allah's sake. Ask Allah to remove pride, anger, and jealousy, and to replace them with humility and sincerity. Because on the day of judgment, many will come with deeds, but those who carried beautiful character will find their scales heavy with goodness by Allah's permission. Before you go, take a quiet moment and choose one word from today's reminders, something that you want to carry with you this week. Maybe it's ikhlas, Tawakul, sabr, dua, or shukr. Write that word down on your phone, in your notebook, or even on a small paper, and let it be your personal reminder to return to Allah. Now, I want you to do one more thing. Comment that one word below so we can reflect together and remind each other for the sake of Allah. Your word might be the exact encouragement someone else needed today. And if you want this message to reach more hearts, please support the video by using YouTube's new Hype feature and tapping it for this episode. It helps the video get discovered and brings beneficial reminders to more people. May Allah bless you, increase you in guidance, and make these reminders a light for you in this dunya and the akhirah. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.